Good evening, I'm Seoyoon and I'm also from South Korea. We had the same project, but I approached the project a bit differently. For me, the concept of projects and what kind of story and experience I want to tell people is most important. And with this project, I started with a thought about how people experience space. As designer, I get inspirations from the atmosphere which stimulate my senses. So when I first visited Peace Palace, I found it really fascinating. With all these symbolic monuments from all different countries, and architect itself was really beautiful. It may have been the weight of symbols and the structure of the building that I found fascinating. Yet, for a place of peace, they felt quite restraining than liberating. Everything was really careful. The gates were closed, and we had to go through security with our passports. I'm not saying that it is not representing the peace because of its formal coldness or its dignity. It's just that the image of peace I had in my mind was more of a friendly environment where anyone could express themselves. It was interesting to see these two different impressions of peace during my visit. So I decided to take my project in a way to make peace exist in much more inviting environment. Lots of internationally heavy topics are discussed in the Peace Palace. And inspired from this, I wanted to create a cafe in the visitor center where tourists can also talk about peace. Because when people are comfortable and more at ease, it may help them to approach the heavy topics in a relaxed way. This leaves room for people to think and discuss upon themselves, which is as valuable as the ones from formal and structured conversation. And I found it would be really interesting to see these two different spaces, formal and informal, coexist. And to spark their conversation, a tool was needed. These coffee cups are designed to contain stories, which becomes visible as you drink your coffee because of coffee stains. And this series contains information and questions about nuclear weapon, which was inspired from the cases of International Court of Justice in the Peace Palace. Many other topics could be chosen, but I decided to choose this topic for my first series because I saw it was related to many international disputes. And to design sentences to put in the cup, of course, I had to do lots of research. Since it's ongoing and politically, economically complicated subject, there were tons of things to know. And to tell something with all this information, it was really important to know what was my position as designer. During the research, I happened to have my own opinion on the subject, but I tried to take neutral attitude because my goal was to help people to find their own thoughts. There are cups for espresso, cappuccino, and cafe latte, 3 basic types of cups for coffee, containing different amounts of information. And 3 sets are divided with different colors, and each set presents as different types of conversation starters. The first set is about general and essence questions, such as are nuclear weapons constructive or destructive? Where does the fear come from? And the second set is about what does the statistics of nuclear disarmament tell us? Can we believe in the data and what's behind the data? And the last set questions about the efficiency of NPT, Nuclear Proliferation Treaty, concerning different interpretations of related countries. While I was developing this project, I realized it could be really dangerous to have shallow perspective because you do not know about something very well. And to know something with only passive attitude will give you less opportunity to open up and stay objective. With this project, I want people to relate better to the topics of peace and justice in such environment. And I believe sensorial information is really strong in delivering messages. I suggest it would be nice to end the tour of Peace Palace with that cup of coffee. What I just told you shows my way of design thinking, what I have learned while studying in the Netherlands. Many other projects that I did in the Design Academy helped me to grow as independent designer. It broadened my perspective, making me possible to deal with diverse categories regarding cultural, social, personal, and philosophical topics. With open perspective, I want to contribute to the projects which will enrich our life and make us more flexible. Thank you.